business school, and I'm gonna try something right now. I'm gonna see if I can. Actually, okay, that didn't work. I was gonna try to go landscape with my phone, but I'm gonna just stick with what I know. I ain't gonna be chasing waterfalls. I'm gonna stick to the rivers and the lakes that I'm used to. I want to welcome everybody to the podcast. Welcome to drboystv.com. This is the home for intelligent black people. So if you're black and you want to build and you're intelligent, then you're in the right place. This is the place to be. This is the place for you. Now, do me a favor as you guys come into the chat. I'm going to let you guys kind of come in, and I'm going to invite some people in who are part of our extended family. If you want to receive a notification when we go live, then text the word Boyce to 31996. Just text my name, text Boyce, Boyce to 31996. I'm also going to invite people in from our social media platform, Blag Enough. Blag Enough is kind of a Facebook for black people. It's a place where we go where we know Mark Zuckerberg, Big Brother, is not going to be up our ass telling us what to say and what we can't say and what we can't do and all that, treating us like children. So if you want to join Blag Enough, here's how you spell it. It's right here on this piece of paper. So if you want to join Blag Enough, it's BLAGGENUF. So if you are Blag Enough to be part of Blag Enough, then you can join us at Blag Enough. How about that? All right. So today, what I'm going to do is as I'm texting everybody to let them know that we're having this conversation, I was sort of paying attention to this interesting, really interesting guy who, quite honestly, quite frankly, he's iconic at this point. His name is Kanye West. Kanye West is out of Chicago. I live in Chicago, well, in a suburb of Chicago now, and I just kind of think Kanye is a guy that's he's genius in a crazy way. He's a guy that has been relevant for a long time, and he's relevant because he made himself relevant. He decided in advance that he was going to be relevant, and that's pretty extraordinary. Kind of Muhammad Ali like in terms of how he was able to really call it. He called the fact that he would be the greatest rapper alive and the biggest name out here, and I mean, whether y'all like him or not, that y'all been talking about this man for probably 15 years now, almost 20 years. I mean, it's been a long time. So anyway, Kanye is back in the news right now because of a situation where he allegedly got ripped off. He's claiming that he got ripped off by a friend who forged his signature, used his name, and went out and made a bunch of money without him knowing anything about it. And that's an interesting kind of story, right? It's very interesting in the sense that that perked my ears up as a black man, as a businessman, kind of dealing with, I have baby fame. Kanye has giant, humongous fame. I've had baby fame, so I kind of know a little bit about some of this, in terms of, people using your name or people going out and doing things on your behalf and you having no idea what's going on. But anyway, as I move forward, I want to say welcome to Trey J and Darren and Eric and Mo Salmon. Asiatic Black Man, Jolie, Kimberly, how are you? Let's see, Ramona's from Atlanta, Georgia. The RH Factor Group, my company, okay, is set to hit six figures after only 8 months in business. Good for you. Wow. Thanks to you and Julian Gordon for your guidance and mentoring. Also, Ramona, that's awesome. Yeah, I think she's referring to a program. If you're in the Black Business School, that's what it sounds, Ramona, like you're in the Black Business School. You guys don't know. I mean, you guys really got to try out the Black Business School. We're better than college. We're better. We don't even compete with universities because we totally revamped the whole model in a way where it gives black people exactly what we need. I taught on college campuses for 25 years at Indiana University, University of Kentucky, Syracuse University, the Ohio State University. I taught in Europe and China, and I was able to clearly see how these universities do and don't serve black people. So one way that they don't serve black people is they leave you in debt. The average black college graduates, half of all black college graduates, will default on their student loans, which means that most of them are in danger of dying in debt, and which means that black wealth is being pushed away. We're giving the wealth away. That's why the wealth gap is growing, is because we're giving our wealth away. I mean, 8 minus 4 is gonna be 4, right? So that basically it's like take a number, subtract something from that number, and you're going to get a smaller number. It ain't calculus, y'all. It ain't complicated. And so what we do is we make sure our students are not in debt. Also, we give them access to professors that are not only just as good as the ones they had on the college campus, but they're actually better. Why are they better? Well, because here's a secret about business school students, the ones the ones where you went $100,000 in debt to learn from. Most business school professors have never actually run a business. Most business school professors have never run a business. And so, because they've never run a business, that they don't necessarily know what your needs are as an African American. African Americans need businesses. That's why we don't have jobs. We don't have jobs because white people don't hire us. Well, studies show that the majority of people who get hired by people who look like them. So the reason the white guy didn't offer you the job is because you're not another white guy. If you were another white guy, then your chances of getting the job would probably triple instantly. All right off the bat, right? So but that's the other point, right? Black people need business builders, business developers, not business managers. Managers are people that manage a pre-existing business. But if you come out and you know how to manage a business, but you don't know how to build a business, it's like coming out into the world with a driver's license, but you can't even afford a car. If you ain't got a car, that means you got to beg somebody to let you drive their car. And then when you drive the car, you got to drive it in the direction they want you to drive it. You can't drive the car the way you want to drive it. And we know black people need to build our own cars and drive them in the direction that we need to go, right? Third point, and this is me just giving you the quick spiel, the very quick overview on the Black Business School. Third point is how many of you have seen all the racist incidents that occur on college campuses? How many of you, yes or no, yes or no, yes or no? How many of you went to college or something, at least for a while, and had a racist experience where you felt like the professors didn't want you there, the students didn't want you there, or the university only lets black people in if they can dribble a basketball or throw a football? Yes or no? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Somebody, I need y'all to testify with me on this and let me know if you've had this experience, because I've had it 10,000 times. I went to school from the age of 18 to the age of 31. I finished my PhD when I was 31 years old. So I did 13 straight years on university campuses to get the highest level of expertise I could possibly get in the field of finance. And do you know that in all those 13 years, I never once, not one single time, ever had one single African American professor? Right? So all these hundreds of thousands of dollars that I spent getting this vast education was all money that I was shoveling away and giving it to white folks. And I did not feel welcome. I did not feel comfortable. I felt out of place. I felt like I was the only black person in the room. And that's a dysfunction you shouldn't have to live with. So the Black Business School is for black people. It's for black problems. It's to solve problems in the black community worldwide throughout the diaspora. We don't discriminate. We don't tell you can't come if you're not black. There are white people in the Black Business School, but we let them know that the black agenda is the only agenda. The only reason we exist is to solve problems in the black community. So we are here for you, period. So you can get started for free. There's a free option in the Black Business School. I guarantee you will get more from the free option from us than you got paying $100,000 to whatever university you went to, because we're going to teach you what you need to know as a black person to solve specific black problems in your family, in your community, and in your life. Then if you want to sign up for a program, which we give you the option to do that, most of our programs cost, the daily cost for a lot of our programs is like $3. Like you can't even buy a Happy Meal for $3, right? So that's how we keep you out of debt. But we have to, we collect revenue a little bit because we got to pay our professors and we got to pay our expenses. It's very, very expensive running a vast nationwide operation. So right now, the Black Business School is at 80,000 students. We want to get to 100,000 students by the end of the summer, and it's backed by a massive digital infrastructure where we're able to reach hundreds of thousands of black people every week, so we can get the message of black economic empowerment out there. So just so y'all know, I'm playing chess. I ain't playing checkers. We have a master plan, and it's a 50-year plan that's going to actually show itself the most in about the year 2070. So go to theblackbusinessschool.com if you haven't done it. Please do that. theblackbusinessschool.com and get started. So let me go back. I gave you the spiel. Thank you for letting me do that. Hit the thumbs up button. Let's talk about Kanye West. Let's talk about his financial situation and what's going on. Now let me read this story to you. Hit the thumbs up button as I pull this up. Please hit that thumbs up button right now. And by the way, I'm on my way to Philly. So if you live in Philly, I'll be doing a seminar in Philly on Malcolm X's birthday on the 19th, 2 days from now. So you can go to drboysphiladelphia.com if you want to learn more. drboysphiladelphia.com. So here, according to TMZ, it says Kanye West, former friend and good music associate Malik Yusef, is being sued for allegedly forging Ye's signature and making millions of dollars in the process. Gentle Monster, a Korean-based fashion brand known for its eyewear, claims Yusef scammed the company out of $2.5 million by promising Kanye that Kanye would create a video for the company. GM, which is Gentle Monster, says Yusef even set up a meeting between Kanye and a rep for the brand, making it seem like Ye was on board for the whole thing. Kanye allegedly had no clue there was any type of business deal in place. Now, I don't know if that means Kanye was at the meeting and just clueless, or if he promised the meeting and it never happened. They're not detailed on that. According to the lawsuit obtained by TMZ, Kanye wasn't the only celebrity Yusef promised to deliver. He also claimed Pharrell and Jaden Smith and others would help out with the project. GM says Yusef's scam was elaborate, spanning over 9 months, and included forged signatures from Kanye and phony invoices made to appear like they were sent from legit talent agencies. The lawsuit claims GM, the Gentle Monster, the Korean company, became suspicious of Yusef's plan when he finally submitted a video to them in February 2019 that barely reflected any of the brand's wishes. The ending credits allegedly said both Kanye and Pharrell wrote and produced the music. And now the kicker in all this was the tweet heard around the world because Kanye, in case y'all don't know, he's married to a lady named Kim Kardashian who is a beast boss. I mean, she might y'all. I mean, y'all can call them the Kardashians and all that, and I'm not even gonna say you wrong on that. I think the family's a little bit strange, but they are beast boss when it comes to that money. Like they are beast boss with it. Like they make money at a level that is astronomical. Every single member of that family is on their way to becoming a billionaire by the time they're done. And so Kanye, I mean, Kim, she tweeted out on Twitter. She said, "Here's the page right here. It says this is not true. Kanye is not involved and did not produce this song." And she's responding to a tweet by a company called Hype Bay, where they said Kanye produced the music for Gentle Monster's latest campaign. And that kind of shuts it down right there. That shuts it down right there. I mean, Kim Kardashian, what is it? She has 60 million Twitter followers. So it was kind of done. The jig was up. And then they said Gentle Monster released the project, touting Kanye's involvement, and to the brand's horror, Kim Kardashian tweeted her hubby had nothing to do with it. So it sounds like Gentle Monster is upset, allegedly, because they gave this money to this guy who claimed that he could deliver Kanye, and that and that it turns out that all of this, was bogus. And so imagine that, right? You in good faith, you think you're dealing with Kanye West's representative. And again, I'm not even, remember, this is a lawsuit that has to be settled in court. A lot of times people make accusations, to sue, or they want to deny responsibility that for the role that they had. I'd be curious to hear Yusef's side of the story, or to see, his lawsuit, his countersuit, or his response to the suit. But based on the suit, they're claiming that they paid this money to this guy, thinking that Kanye was involved, and the whole time he wasn't involved. And again, you just don't know, because I can just say that. I mean, I just know that the more famous I got, the more I started seeing bogus lawsuits. And Will Smith talks about how he gets sued 15 times a year and has to keep lawyers on retainer just for the lawsuits. That's the part about business I hate. I remember I had a conversation with David Banner about it. I said, man, how do you deal with people that just want to sue for whatever because they think you have money? He said, it's just the cost of doing business. And David's been very famous for a very long time, and he said sometimes you just deal with lawsuits and you pay them just because. But then again, though, nobody knows what's going on here now. Now let's see. Eric says Kim Kardashian got famous on the sex tape. I agree with you. I think Kim Kardashian's path to fame is the weirdest brand building process I've ever seen in my life. Like, I never would have guessed years ago that a person could get famous by having sex on tape. I mean, unless you want to be a porn star, right? You could be a famous porn star, but I didn't think you could be mainstream. And white supremacy does play a part in that, because y'all remember Larry Fishburne's daughter tried that. He's Lawrence Fishburne now. He's not Larry anymore. But Lawrence Fishburne's daughter, Montana Fishburne. Anybody remember that? Anybody remember when Montana Fishburne hung out with Kim Kardashian? I think that Kim was like one of her buddies, and Kim said, "Yeah, girl, if you want to be famous, just make a sex tape." So Lawrence Fishburne's daughter, I keep calling him Larry. I'm sorry, Larry. Larry, if you're watching this, man, I respect you, bro. You're doing a great job on Blackish, by the way. Amazing actor. Anyway, so Lawrence Fishburne's daughter, Montana, was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go make a sex tape," and she didn't just make one. Apparently she's an overachiever, because she just like went straight porn star with it. Like, was making all kinds of, interesting films, and it didn't work out for her. Lawrence, I keep calling him Larry. That's because my dad's name is Larry. Lawrence was trying his best to keep it under wraps. He was getting his Hollywood friends to go buy up all the tapes so that it wouldn't become public. But it didn't matter because, you let that rabbit out of the hole, you can't, you're not going to put it back in. She opened up a Pandora's box, and you ain't heard from Montana Fishburne since. The only thing I've heard from Montana Fishburne is 3 or 4 years later, and maybe 100 dudes later, who knows, 50 dudes later, whatever it is. She is now actually warning young women against doing what she did. If I'm not mistaken, I saw where she warned women not to do what she did. And so I think that, I think that, when you look at Kim Kardashian's path to success, there is some white supremacy involved. I think that if Kim had been a black girl, I think she would have just been a porn star. She wouldn't have been this, I don't know what the hell they are, fashionista, social icons. Or when I was in China, I got off the plane in Shanghai, and I looked up, and I saw this gigantic billboard, and it was a big, beautiful picture. Well, the picture was beautiful in the sense that it had high-quality graphics. It wasn't beautiful because of who was on it, but it was an amazing picture of all the Kardashians in their underwear. Like almost like all the girls, and I think there were some dudes back there, but I don't want to see a dude in his underwear. And they were in China, like they were doing a Calvin Klein ad, and all of them were in their drawers, and they probably got $10 million to put on their underwear. What is it? The young lady, what's her name? Not Chloe, Kylie. There was a debate about whether or not she was the youngest self-made billionaire ever and all this. Well, Kylie, if she's not a billionaire, she's on her way. I mean, she's I think she gets paid $250,000 to tweet out your product or to just put something up, your image up on Instagram. I mean, it's interesting because they've become really the prototype of really what it means to be a social media influencer. And literally each day I sit and I wonder, every time, well, not each day, each day I think about the Kardashians, every time they cross my brain, I sit and I think, who are these people being influenced by these people? I can understand being influenced by Martin Luther King. I can understand if you're influenced by Gandhi or influenced by, Neil deGrasse Tyson to understand the nature of the universe. I can see if you're influenced by Dr. Claude Anderson, because who wrote Powernomics. I don't really get why you're influenced by people who really don't say or do much of anything except take pictures in their drawers. I just don't get it. It really, unfortunately for poor Kim, because I don't think Kim. Here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you. I will get to that in a minute. They don't do anything. They're just famous for being famous. I don't understand that. But here's the thing about Kim. Do me a favor, actually hit the thumbs up button. I'm gonna tell you something about Kim that I learned from somebody who's worked with Kim directly. To hit the thumbs up button first, please do that. I'm about to send out a text message to let the rest of the people in the tribe know that we're live right now. If you want to get on the list, just text the word Boyce to 31996. Text Boyce to 31996. Okay, give me 1 second here. Hit the thumbs up button, okay? All right, there we go. I can only do one thing at a time. Sorry about that. All right, so here's the thing about Kim. I talked to my homeboy who worked closely with Kim back in the day when Kim was nobody, right? Back in the day when she was just, Ray J's girlfriend who was having sex on tape. And let me tell you what Kim used to do to get famous, which was really fascinating to me. He said that Kim would call them and say, hey, can you cover this story about me, right? And nobody really knew who she was, so it was like, okay, sure, whatever, we don't care, because their company was small at the time, and she was small, so it was like, okay, yeah, sure, it's great for the blogs, and it looks like your name is growing. And then check this out: when somebody would come back and say, oh, Kim Kardashian ain't shit, Kim Kardashian's a hoe, blah blah blah, Kim was gangster with it. Kim didn't fucking care. Kim did not. She didn't get all like, oh, they called me a hoe and that's just so unfair. She would say, since we're beefing, can you cover that? Because that will actually, I think that'll drive more traffic to the platform. And, right. She understood that if they were talking smack about her, that was an opportunity for her to keep building her brand. Like Kim was super strategic, super disciplined about maintaining her image and maintaining her brand. And when I heard the story, I was actually really impressed by that. I was really impressed by that. So it didn't surprise me later on when I saw Kim getting involved in social justice initiatives. Like, she's actually been, pretty active as far as working with those two black female lawyers to get certain people out of prison. I really would hope that Kim would try. I'm hoping that they can put something together that's a little broader and more systematic, where they can actually really address, not just a case here and the case there, but hundreds, maybe thousands of cases. Maybe have an army of lawyers all throughout the country that are all doing this around the clock, because we've got so many hundreds of thousands of people that were impacted by the mass incarceration Holocaust that hit the black community, that you literally have to go through there with a big shovel. You can't go through there with picking one case at a time. You literally have to do a mass cleanup exercise, like almost like the Marshall Plan type situation in Europe after they destroyed Nazi Germany and destroyed Hiroshima, right? So Kim is not. I'm gonna tell you, I don't really hate on Kim like that, because I think Kim is, she works what she's got. It works for her. She's built a brand that people pay for. I bet she'll never go broke. You'll never hear a story about the Kardashians all being destitute now, because they're making investments. They're protecting their assets. They know their brand value. They could literally teach a business school class. And so. And also, even with the thing with the black lawyers, you saw, if you look at what Kim was saying, like they were talking about how the media was giving more credit to Kim than to the black female attorneys, but both the attorneys and Kim were both pretty consistent in the sense that the attorneys were saying it's not Kim's fault. Behind the scenes, Kim has always given us credit, and on the camera and off the camera, and she's just donated lots of money, and she's using her brand value to help us get things done. It's the media that decided that the white woman deserves all the credit. But Kim has actually spoken against that. She's always given them credit. So I honestly think, and actually one more personal experience I can throw in there is 4 years ago, I don't know how many years ago, when Russell Simmons and I approached the Obama administration to get a letter to President Obama to deal with the mass incarceration epidemic, and the Obama administration was really pushing back, Valerie Jarrett in particular. I have no love for Valerie Jarrett. I felt that Valerie was not helpful or cooperative in getting us to get Barack's attention, or helping us to really do what I felt that he was promising to do from the beginning. When that went down, Kim Kardashian was one of the first people to help sign that letter. She tweeted the hashtag. Of course, you have the black celebrities: Jennifer Hudson, Will Smith, Jamie Foxx, Chris Rock. You go down the list. A lot of celebrities signed on, and it was the star power of the letter. I wrote the letter, and Russell got the celebrities on board. And it was the star power behind the letter that got the Obama administration to finally pay attention. But believe me when I tell you that they fought us tooth and nail all the way to the very end. And to Russell's credit, he didn't care that he wasn't going to get invited to Christmas parties anymore. He didn't fall for the okie doke. A lot of those celebrities got bought because they'd be like, oh, well, we'll invite you to the White House Christmas party. Oh, you can take pictures with Barack. And everybody thought, black folks get so caught up in what's trendy and cool that we forget about what's real and relevant. So we got to be real and relevant, or as my friend D1 likes to say, real, keep it real, keep it righteous, keep it relevant, or real, righteous, and relevant. However he says it, that's the point, right? And so long story short, Kim tweeted out the hashtag, and believe it or not, it was Justin Bieber, of all people, who set it off. When he tweeted out that hashtag, it became the #3 trending hashtag in the world, and that's when the Obama administration folded. And that ultimately, at the end of the day, comes down to power. There's power in this process, and power matters, and it's not fair that somebody gets power because they take pictures in their underwear and made a sex tape. But at least she's using the power in a productive way, and I give her credit for that. Now, is the Ballard on your shirt in Seattle? No, this is Ballard High School. I used to be captain of the track team at Ballard High School, and actually the new, one guy who actually graduated from my same school, but he graduated 20 years after me, named Ronnie Baker, is literally one of the fastest men on the planet. planet. So go check out, if you're a track and field fan, look for Ronnie Baker. That's my guy. I have a lot of respect for him. So hit the thumbs up button, please. And also don't forget, I'll be in Philadelphia on May 19th. You can learn more at drboysphiladelphia.com. That's drboysphiladelphia.com. And this podcast can actually be seen on iTunes. So please go to iTunes, look for my name. You can download the podcast on iTunes. And also thank you to you guys on Dr. Boyce TV. Just last night, we passed 100,000 subscribers on that channel. We already have 345,000 on Your Black World, and we have a few other channels that have about 100,000 more. I'm not going to lay it all out there because I don't want everybody knowing all of our business. You gotta operate strategically, because when you have a powerful black voice, there are people that want to shut that down. So that's why I don't always lay all my cards on the table. But once again, I tell you guys, when I tell you that we play chess, not checkers, I really mean that. All right. So here's the thing. So Kanye is claiming that he got, that this shady promoter or whatever this guy is allegedly took his money, forged his signature. If that's proven, that's a problem, right? That's an issue. Now, one thing that's true also in this business in general is that there are shady promoters everywhere, and there are people. When you have a brand, or when you have a big name, or a value, something that's valued, something that people want, just know that there's a certain percentage of people in our community and other communities as well who are just straight sociopaths. Sociopaths, like they will tell you a great story, and then they will literally do something completely opposite to what they said. There was a guy named Tony White that I worked with in LA. And I talked to Tony about working together on a movie and stuff like that. And we actually, I thought we became friends, and we had all these conversations. And literally, I will just say that in the end, I was very, very upset, surprised, disappointed. I wouldn't even say hurt. It was more like angry at the way he did business in the end. I just, and then when I talked to other people, I would find out that he was telling other people the same story, So I remember getting on the phone with some people and saying, I said, look, I'm not going to go out here and tell you what to think about another brother, but go do your research, go do your homework. And so I said that to one of the celebrities. I said, just go ask around other people, compare notes, ask them about this and ask them about that. And I remember the person she's actually pretty well known. She's you would know her name if I mentioned the name. She called me back. She said, yeah, I researched this guy, and I found out that I think he's on some shady shit, right? And what I found is that you just got these people, and I'm not saying that this Yusef guy is one of those people. I don't even know this guy. I don't even know what's true and what's not. People put whatever they want in lawsuits, but assuming that this could be true, when you start building your business, just know that you got to. It's like dating. Think about this. Have you ever dated somebody and found out they were a complete liar? Like, yes or no? Let me know if you've ever dated somebody and found out later on that they were a whole different person from what they pretended to be. Right? You 3 months in, you're like, wait a minute, you got this whole other life. You did what? Blah, 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 blah. Right? Well, remember what TD Jakes talked about that. He said when you're dating somebody, you're not really dating that person. You're dating their representative. Right? You're not dating who they really are. You're dating who they're telling you that they are. And there are sociopaths, and I even have people like that close in my own family that I've interacted with that I stay away from, who are just, it's like they have some weird ability to high social intelligence mixed with, again, a sociopathic nature to not take accountability for their actions. So what they can do is they can talk to you, and they instantly know how to say what you want to hear. It happens a lot in dating. I've seen guys that do that. Like, they know exactly how to say exactly what a woman wants to hear. I knew a guy who had 5 or 6 girlfriends, and he was lying to all of them, telling them different lies, whatever lie they need to hear. And all his friends were, this is a long time ago, and his friends were like, hey man, how do you keep so many girls? How do you got all these girls interested in you? They were all like about 20 something years old. And he said, oh, it's easy. He said, you just sell a hoe a dream. Just sell a hoe a dream. That's all you gotta do. Figure out what her fantasy is and sell her the fantasy, right? Which obviously is a terrible way to think. It's a terrible way to treat people. It's despicable. But the thing is that happens in business too. It happens in business a lot too. You got people out here who will sell a hoe a dream, and you might be the hoe. I've been the hoe. You'll have somebody that will just pick up on, like when I was dealing with that guy in LA, in hindsight, I was trying to figure out how did he fool me? What the hell happened? And I noticed that he knew that I'm all about this pro-black stuff. So when he was talking, he'd be like, "Yeah, brother, oh yeah, brother, we got to stick together, brother." And and I'm like, "Yeah, that's right. We black, we got to stick together." And I kind of got sucked into that, And so ultimately, you have those shady type people. That's why when people become really famous or really rich or they get really big, they tend to stick to people that they know, people that they've known for a long time. Because the richer you get and the more successful you are, the more you become traumatized by people that will maneuver their way to get close to you and will totally flip the script on your ass. I'm very particular. Like when I meet somebody new, you're not getting that close to me if you're new. You're just not. You're like it's like you don't know, somebody could be a damn suicide bomber, so on some COINTELPRO shit, where they know exactly what you want and how to get close to you, and then they get close to you and they pull out the bomb, and and next thing you know, everything blows up. Your whole business blows up, your whole reputation, everything, and so so if that happens to people like me, then for a guy like Kanye, it's got to be 100,000-fold. It's much greater for somebody like him. So if you ever see celebrities that just seem like they keep everybody at a distance and don't trust anybody, it's because you don't know what people's agendas are. And even if they are trustworthy people, a lot of times it's hard for people to be next to somebody that has millions of dollars in the bank and not at some point want to figure out how to get in their good graces to get some of their money or get some of their power or get some of their access. Or somebody that's really cool with you one day, the next thing you know, if you're not cool anymore and you say, "Look, I don't want to hang with you no more. I'm out of here. I want to end this relationship," or whatever. For some people, they have a hard time letting go. Like they'll be like, "Wait a minute." In their mind, they're thinking, "Wait, you were my meal ticket. You were a part of me." Like in the sense that now I in their mind, they felt like, okay, now I've made it. I'm hanging out with Kanye every day, and that becomes a part of the person's psyche in terms of who they are, their identity, self-identity. Almost like a black man who spends his whole life, practicing to become a professional football player. And that's all he knows. That's all he loves. That's all he thinks about. And then he gets to the NFL and he's happy, but then suddenly, let's say that they cut him from the team. Well, he doesn't know what to do with himself. Now he's, suicidal, depressed, drinking all the time, using drugs because he has nothing left, because you took a part of himself. So how do you know the difference? Somebody said, how do you spot the signs of a sociopath? I can't really tell you any specific things that always show whether or not somebody's a sociopath. I could actually do another video later where I can look up some signs of a sociopath and we talk through those. But one thing I will say is this: when it comes to formation of strong relationships, there's rarely any substitute for time. You see, what time does, when you take your time and get to know somebody, and this is true for dating or business. Dating and business are the same thing. When you go into business with somebody, you're marrying them. You're intertwining your fate. So a lot of the structure of marriage and how that works is very similar to business, right? Going into business with somebody. But, I'm a believer that time plays a role. So if I have somebody that's in my space and I'm thinking about possibly letting them get closer to me, I just keep them at a distance and I just watch. I observe. I watch how you respond when things go well. I watch how you respond when things go bad. I learn. I hear. I find out more about your background. Your family, where you come from. If somebody's already, for example, if somebody's got a lot of money themselves and they've got a lot to lose, then that's a person who's less likely to want to come after your shit in the event that things go bad. When you're wealthy and you hang out with somebody who's broke, then when you leave, they're going to say, "Wait, come back, come back, come back." That's why you see that, like those men when Jill Scott got divorced and her man was like, "No, you need to give me alimony. I need money to take care of my family." Well, that's because they've gotten addicted to a certain lifestyle and they don't want to let that go. The other thing, again, assuming that any of this is true with the Kanye thing, Kanye's brand is larger than life. I mean, he's a global brand. So this, this man, it sounds to me, if he's guilty of any of this, which we don't know this. I keep saying that just to make sure we understand guilt, innocent till proven guilty. Because again, also, if you're suing him and he did these things that were allegedly against the law, I would imagine criminal charges should be filed as well. I don't know if they are or not. And the fact that they're not says maybe there's not enough evidence or whatever. But the idea that you can just go to Korea, and talk to some people all the way over in Korea, that nobody really knows about, and say, oh, by the way, I got access to Kanye. I can get you Kanye West. Pay me money and I'll get you closer to Kanye. I'll get you a meeting with Kanye. I'll get Kanye to do your music, right? And the thing is, Kanye, Kanye's busy. Kanye's doing stuff. He's out in the world. He's out, touring or whatever he does. There's a good chance that he may not notice that. Like there are lots of wealthy athletes and celebrities who have hundreds of thousands of dollars milked out of their account and they don't even notice. That's why the worst thing a celebrity can do is stay high and drunk all the time, because a person who's not conscious is going to get robbed. That's why consciousness is very important for black people. It's important. Every black person should be part of the conscious community, right? We make fun of conscious black people, but conscious black people are those who are awake. When they say stay woke means stay conscious, because conscious people don't get raped as easily. For a conscious person to rape them financially or physically or otherwise, you have to fight them, because they're going to say, wait, I'm conscious. I see what you're doing. I understand what you're doing. I'm watching your ass. And that person is much more difficult to rob than a person who is distracted. You follow me? So that's why when people say stay woke, stay conscious, and I talk about terms like being financially woke. Being financially woke doesn't just mean being alert. It also means being skilled and having an understanding of what's going on. So you can look and say, wait, I don't understand this. I went through the books last night and I saw this and it didn't make any sense. And so I'd like for you to explain that to me. When they see that you're doing that, then people are less likely to kind of do whatever they want. It's almost like the same thing with children in school. Like if your children go to school, the kids that get beat up and abused by the teachers the most are the kids who don't have strong parental advocates. Right? Like if they know that there's no chance that your mama or your daddy is ever going to come and challenge the teacher on what they did, the teachers will do whatever the fuck they want to do with your kids. That's why parental involvement is a must. So you must connect the fact that black kids are most likely to be abused in public school with the fact that black parents are in many cases least likely to go and show up at the school. Black parents, yes or no? Tell me if you understand what I'm saying. Yes, or tell me if you get what this is. Black parents who are deeply involved with the school, know the teacher, are calling the teacher every other week and talking to the teacher about their child, their kids don't get the same. They don't get the nigga treatment. They just don't. It's just real. Like they don't get the same abuse that the other child might get because they've got advocates. So the first best advocate for yourself should be you. Now, the other thing too is that when you're working with people, Kanye's situation is similar to the thing with LeVar Ball. It's not just a matter of whether or not the person's a sociopath or has a personality disorder or is just a crook. Also, you got the issue like they may have personal issues. They may be a good person who's dealing with some bad consequences for bad choices. So, for example, if you got somebody managing your money who has a gambling addiction, well, then, there's going to be a point where they may feel the pressure where they say, gosh, I really don't want to steal this person's money, but I need to do it or the bookie's going to come kill me. Right? So you got to kind of pay attention to how a person moves, how they navigate. Some people move themselves into a box where they don't want to do bad shit to you, but they have to because they put themselves in a horribly bad situation. Right? So paying attention, that's another. So that what I pay attention to a lot of times when I think about who I want to be around and not be around is I look at your personal responsibility and how you live your life. Like if you drink like a fish, and you always drunk, then I'm not going to tell you no secrets. My daddy told me a long time ago. He said never tell. He went to a true story. He went to a meeting with me where we were. I was teaching at Syracuse, and we were meeting 2 or 3 professors at a restaurant. And my dad was a detective, so detectives notice everything. They just observe. They're very observant. And my father, after we got done, there was one guy who was a black professor there, and he was drinking. Before we got there, he was drinking, downing drinks all through the meal, and then he kept drinking even afterward. And then he drove home, which was the craziest thing. But I remember my father said, don't ever tell him any of your secrets. He said, a drunk will tell all secrets. So I never told him anything I didn't want everybody to know because a drunk is not a person you can depend on in a lot of ways. If somebody, same thing is true whether you talk about drugs or gambling addiction or love addiction. Some people have love and sex addictions. that may cause them to just make bad decisions. A lot of men lose their power because they don't control their sexual impulses. You know, it doesn't mean you can't have sex. Everybody has sex. Sex is great, but if you overdo it or you putting it all at risk over a big butt and a smile, and you do that on a regular basis, eventually that catches up with you. You get caught up in a Me Too situation or whatever it is. With Kanye, I also remember a couple of interesting things about Kanye that I thought about when I saw the story. One was, I remember the thing happened with Candace Owens. I don't know if you remember, where Kanye was running around talking about slavery as a choice and getting down with the Republican Party and wearing MAGA hats and shit, which I'm glad he kind of toned that down. I don't think that there's a problem. Again, let me just make this clear. I think black people have a right to be Republicans. Stop acting like a black person who's a Republican is automatically a coon. I just don't believe that. I know black Republicans, and I know some of them, that's just what they believe, and it's okay for you to believe that, and I'm not gonna disavow you as my brother or my sister because you're a Republican. I'm gonna just say, well, what is your solution for the black community? And if you have a solution that makes sense, then I'll hear you out. But if you're just repeating whatever Sean Hannity said on Fox, I can't ride with that, right? But so Kanye had a right to be a Republican. He had a right to be a Trump supporter. He had a right to wear a MAGA hat. But I think that his over-the-top behavior in that regard, the fact that he was so vocal and so out there and so out front, was a problem. Not just because it was a problem, but just because it's just a problem. It was a spectacle. But also, if you're gonna be that person, if that's the asshole you want to be, then keep being that asshole. At least be a consistent asshole. You know, Kanye did this shit. He was out there, out front, going crazy for about a month. And then all of a sudden, he just is like, I'm not going to do it anymore. And I'm like, what? Wait a minute. You was on a roll, man. Like, keep going. That's what you're doing. That's you. That's your thing. Do it. Because if you're not committed to what you're doing, if you don't stick with what you're doing, then that's going to tell me you didn't think it through in the first place. That you're just talking without thinking and just kind of doing whatever you feel. You're like, wherever your passion drives you that particular month, and then you're switching over to something else. So that's my thing. Like I didn't have an issue with Kanye being what he was, Republican, Trump, all that stuff. I don't care. I just don't care. What I did have an issue with is you built this expectation now. Now you're the front man. You're doing your thing. You that's who you are. You're telling the world. Well, then stick with that shit. Consistently be who you are. Don't just be like, oh, I was just playing. What? Like that? It doesn't make any sense. So that told me that he makes decisions that probably are a little bit impulsive, maybe a little bit rash, maybe not thought through so well. And then I remember that really disturbing tweet about being $53 million in debt. And one day I'm gonna do a video and kind of analyze that, because a lot of that has to do with, well, first of all, I hope it's not true, because if it is true, it's very surprising, very sad. Because Kanye has no excuse, right? It just would make no sense. But then again, maybe it is. I have no idea. But the other thing too is that Kanye, like a lot of rappers, felt inspired to enter the fashion industry, which I just think the fashion industry is a terrible industry, and it drives me crazy that so many rappers all want to do fashion. Everybody wants to do fashion, and I believe that the reason you see a lot of rappers do fashion and then they stop doing fashion is because they get in there and they find out that fashion is some difficult shit. It's like dodgy and sketchy and up and down, and the inventory costs are insane. Dame Dash, actually, you guys know Damon Dash, who's really good friends with Kanye, by the way. He and I sort of co-authored a class in the Black Business School that you can actually take a look at if you want to. It's called Intelligent. It's at intelligentbossmoves.com. The first month is free, so you can try it out and just see what you like, if you like it. But he hit a lot of interesting perspectives on business and how it's done in the entertainment industry. And in intelligentbossmoves.com, one thing Dame talks about is how he got into fashion and how it was draining so much cash to keep so much inventory on hand that you have to have. And then when stuff doesn't get bought, you got to ship all that stuff back. You got to sell it at a huge discount. It's a messy industry. And again, it's not good for Kanye, in my opinion. That's not good for Kanye, because Kanye does not seem like a person who has a lot of stick-to-itiveness based on what happened with that whole Trump MAGA thing. It almost sounds like he sort of gets inspired to do something, dives in full speed, and then gets bored and goes and does something else. I don't think fashion is good for a person who has that kind of tendency, right? So anyway, those are my thoughts on Kanye. I hope he gets his situation resolved. I thought it was worth talking about because I think there's a teachable moment. As you know, with this being the platform for intelligent Black people, I'm not just going to talk about it just because it's interesting. I'm going to talk about it because you can analyze it and break it down. I like for things to be interesting, but I think the world is a university. The world is a big classroom, and I actually always enjoyed learning my lessons about wealth and money by looking at real life shit. I always wanted. My father used to, he'd be like, "Look at that motherfucker over there," and he would give me life lessons like that, and I'll be like, "Yeah, I don't want to be like his ass," and that's how you learn, right? So that's what I do. That's how this platform works. In case you're new, I want to make sure everybody understands that. And also, please do me a favor. Please hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please hit the thumbs up button. Hit the share button, the subscribe button. Make sure you subscribe. If you want to get a free e-copy of my book, It Takes a Village to Raise the Bar, you can get it for free. Go to drboycewatkins.net. That's drboycewatkins.net. Also, don't forget we're on iTunes and SoundCloud, so you can download there if you want to listen. And we're really proud of our financial workbooks for children. So if you have little kids that you either are in your house or in somebody else's house and you want to give them something productive to do this summer, don't just sign them up for basketball camp, football camp, and cheerleading camp. Take them to Millionaire Camp. Send them to Millionaire Camp that will be held in your house, where you will give them basic financial literacy that will position them to be very wealthy long term. The URL to check out the financial workbooks for yourself is financialworkbooks.com. That's financialworkbooks.com. So feel free to check that out. And those of you who live in Philadelphia, I'll see you guys in a couple of days. That's drboycephiladelphia.com. We're almost sold out. So if you want to get your tickets, you may want to get it soon, because I looked and I think we have about 10 spots left or something like that. So anyway, I'm out of here, guys. Have a good day, and I'll see you soon. And Kanye, again, I hope Kanye takes this in the right way. Kanye lives in Chicago, so I know he and I are cool with Farrakhan and stuff like that, and I don't want Kanye to think I'm dissing him or anything like that. So I wish this brother the best. All right, so take care, everybody. I'll see you soon. Be good. Peace. Too many people are trying to make a living out of the toy department of life. We either want to bounce a ball, run with. I agree with you, Andre. Yeah, that toy. I mean, we'll spend so much money on toys and not put money into things that actually last. Toys last about a year, but you buy your child shares of stock and just tell them don't sell it for 20 years. You could buy a share of stock. You could probably buy a lot of shares of stock for like, let's say $200 or maybe $100 or maybe $50 that would be worth like hundreds of dollars like a few years from now. So, I just think it doesn't mean you can't buy toys. It's just you got to have that balance. I think we should all be investing. All of us should be investing all the time. Let me see. Third Degree Burn says factoids. Music is $1 billion trade. Two, run by a criminal white man. You're damn right about that. Let me see here. This is why I like listening to you, says Antoinette. Oh, thank you. Always using intelligence, wisdom, not just black or white. Yeah, it's not just black or white. Anybody that's intelligent knows that, good, evil, and all that is not uniform to any particular race or group of people. We got ignorant people on both sides of the fence, and it's about us elevating our community by focusing on things that are right and intelligent. You are a Democrat. Yeah, well, it's okay to be a Democrat. You be Democrat, Republican. I really don't give a shit. It matters. I give zero shits about that. Let's see. Our kids need music education back in schools, Brad. Yeah, music education is good. Music actually stimulates parts of the brain, which is proven to make you more intelligent over time. True to the game. Yep, Kanye rapped about a cousin that stole his laptop with videos of him having sex with women on the song Real Friends. Had to pay $200,000 to get it back. Really? Damn. Okay. All right. Interesting. All right. So I'm gonna answer a couple more. Then I gotta go because I gotta go catch this flight. Kanye and his music genius needs to start with Chicago and teach music education. I agree with you. I hope he's doing more in Chicago. I don't know what he's doing in particular, but I hope he's doing a lot there. I'm a Cancer, so I love hard with a passion. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with loving hard. Debbie, anyone who voted for that monster is A, sick in the head, B, trusted Trump's promises, C, racist, just saying. Let's see here. I don't believe in any of that pick a party crap, not Dem nor Republican. I'm a human being and I pick the human factor. I will tell anyone what I believe in. Yeah, I agree. I just can't get into any of it. It just doesn't inspire me. Republican, Democrat. I don't think our lives get better if Republicans are running the country or Democrats are running the country. For black people, it's kind of the same for us. We're always in the basement. So, by the way, Black Enough, that's our social media platform. So if you're worried about getting banned from Facebook, like Farrakhan and myself and stuff like that, they're eventually going to ban me. I have no doubt. At some point, they're going to kick me off completely. So this is how you spell it. And Black Enough came from like, are you black enough, right? So add a GG instead of a CK, and that's what it is. Will the stock market crash? Absolutely. The stock market always crashes. The crashes are the best times to buy historically. The only crash that you should worry about is the crash that never recovers. So it's like the difference between catching a cold and getting AIDS. Those are two different diagnoses. And so the stock market has been crashing since it started, and smart investors are consistent, and they make most of their money during the downturns, actually. So don't fear a crash. A crash is nothing to be afraid of most of the time. The only thing about crashes is you don't know how long they're going to last, historically. So we could be in for a prolonged downturn. Who knows? So good for you, Charlene. You bought stock for the first time. Everybody should buy stock. Everybody should have life insurance. So if you don't have life insurance, you haven't bought stock, I encourage you to consider changing that path. All right, I'm out of here, guys. Hit that thumbs up button one more time, please. It's really important for the channel. We really appreciate you guys. So I'll see you